Hello class, my name is Abayomi Osota and I'm a student in CYB 505 for the master's degree in cybersecurity. Today I'll be discussing with you the differences in between data in use, data at rest, and data in transit, aka data in transmission. What is data at rest? Data at rest is pretty much a file that is stored on your hard drive that it's not being used at the moment. The data is simply this kind of data is pretty much considered a passive data because it is literally sitting there just saved with nothing being done to it. Now when it comes to data in transit, there are actually different ways, different types of data in transit. This YouTube video that you're watching right now is a data in transit because this data has to this YouTube video, the data for it has to be transferred from the source, and the destination is your laptop. So the in between of it is data in transit. Your instant messaging can be data in transit. Your Slack messages can be data in transit. Your email is a sort of data in transit. Now, and the last one will be data in use. Data in use is pretty much it's pretty much an application that is currently being used at the moment. An example of this is the Google Chrome browser that you're using right now is a form of data in use. The Word document that you're using on a constant basis for this class is an example of data in use. Now, the question is, how do you protect this kind of data? Okay, data at rest. The simplest way to protect data at rest is to make sure that a data that you feel that is important, you can always encrypt the data. Another way to protect this kind of data is to already have encrypted the hard drive that the data sits on itself so that it'll be hard for a hacker to have access to it. Now, it doesn't mean that it cannot be hacked, but the best security measure is already put, which is pretty much the encryption. Now, data in transit. How do you protect data in transit? Well, data in transit itself is already, you know, data that's running through your router is a data in transit, okay? Now, we already know that the security protocol on our Wi-Fi router, WPA, WPA2, and I believe there's also another one. This is already a form of security for your data in transit. Now, the other kind of protection can come through can pretty much come through the internet, like HTTPS. Another form of protection can come from the application itself, in which the data is encrypted from this end to the other end. An example of this kind of application is WhatsApp. WhatsApp, if you are able to go into the settings of your WhatsApp application, then you are able to see that WhatsApp guarantees full encryption of any form of message that you are sending. Another form of encryption is your email that you're sending, which is from the sender to the receiver. The in-between email that's being sent is always protected. Okay. Now, next will be, how can these strategies change? Well, if you look from a regular user's perspective, well, let's first of all go back. First of all, another example for data in use on how to protect this kind of data will be to encrypt the memory itself. Now, going back to how these strategies change. Well, the only way that these strategies, well, not the only way, one way that these strategies can change, it all depends on how you use your data. Obviously, assuming you go to the store right now, buy a new MacBook itself comes with its own security to protect against your data. And this is us just talking based on what a regular person is going to be using without having to think towards too much security. Now, if we are talking from a company, from a business perspective, then there are different ways that this data needs to be protected. One of them is through VPN. Another will be through the application. Another will be actually through your firewall, where you set the protocols needed, the protocols that you need, and the protocols that needs to be denied to make sure that this data app is being protected to the fullest. Another way will be that this strategy can change will be to include pretty much to include this data in a private network. If you work for a company, you have probably noticed that you are not able to actually get to company site unless you are connected to the VPN. If you're not connected to the VPN, then the site will not be found by your regular internet, because this network that your company has is not a public network but a private network. So, but those are the ways that these strategies can change. I'm sure there are some strategies that are missing, but I hope what I've given you today will help you to better understand data in use, data in rest, and data in transmission. But I also hope that you're able to understand that data at rest, data in use, and data in transmission, they all pretty much work hand in hand to each other. Thank you, class, and have a nice day.